Welcome back, everyone. This section is all about using React with TypeScript. And the first thing I want to say, just as a very stern warning, is if you don't know React, if you're not already familiar with it, I really would advise you to skip this section. It will be a waste of your time. You should use this time instead to go learn the basics of React if you want, because this won't make any sense if you don't understand React. I'm only going to show how to connect React with TypeScript, how to use React types, how to use create React app with TypeScript, but I'm going to assume some level of React experience. But we're not doing anything crazy. You don't need to be a React expert, but I just want to be very blunt about this. I really don't want you to waste your time. It won't make sense. You'll be bored and confused and upset if you don't have React experience. All right, so I would skip this unless you know a little bit of React. Okay, so I'll assume you know some React, in which case you've probably seen this website before. React, a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Super popular, right? Uses plain old JavaScript, but we can add in TypeScript types, just like we had types in this definitely typed repository for 7,000 other, Axios, or actually Lodash is the one that we saw. Tons and tons of libraries have type declarations in here. So does React. There are React types that you could manually go and add into some React application. So we could just look at the index here as an example. You could go and download these types, npm install @types/react, and you'll see that we have types for React component elements or function component elements or class components, or all sorts of things, prop types, and lots of React-y stuff. You can go and download this yourself and just add it on to whatever React project. But the way that a lot of us use React, especially React courses, the way that it's taught these days, is through Create React App. Because React can be a pain to set up, you got to have, it helps to have Webpack. You do some transpiling. Even without TypeScript, we often want something like Webpack to help us. And it's just annoying to configure for dev versus production. So if you've used React, you probably have seen Create React App. It's a nice command line script we can run that just helps us get started super quickly. It starts up a dev server, takes care of all the messy stuff we don't want to do. But of course, that's just plain old JavaScript. We also need to integrate TypeScript, and Create React App, fortunately, has a very easy way of doing so. Under the documentation for Create React App, if you go to Get Started, I guess I should show that. And then on the left side, we have Building Your App. There's a little section about adding TypeScript. And it's super simple. This is the command we're about to run. I'll do it in the next video, but npx create react app my app --template TypeScript. So this little bit here, this option, this flag tells create react app that we are making a TypeScript application and we want it to include TypeScript and automatically have a tsconfig file in there. It will create .tsx files for us instead of JSX. It takes care of converting our Create React App from basic JavaScript to fancy TypeScript. But to be clear, you don't have to use Create React App with TypeScript. You can just add TypeScript types by installing them, npm install @types/react. You also need React DOM. If you want to just do it on your own on some simple React app or some custom config that you have where you're not using Create React App. But for this section and for most courses that you'll see online, Create React App is the go-to. All right, so in the next video, we will run this command and explore what we get.